From the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics, this is Sports Extra.
Hello and welcome to Sports Extra,
Carolina's only sports highlights, analysis, and commentary show.
We'll update you on all of the active Tar Heel teams.
And we'll start with football. The Heels improved to 2-2 on the season with a 27-6 victory against ECU Saturday.
but they're undefeated when sophomore running back Giovanni Bernard is on the field instead of on the sidelines. Sports Extra reporter Mike Rodriguez was at the game Saturday for Bernard's return to action.
The UNC football team sunk the Pirates with Bernard's 2 touchdowns in what was his first game back since he injured his knee in the season opener against Elon. Junior quarterback Bren Renner was happy to have his starting tailback back in action.
I think it was huge. I mean, he's one of the best backs in the country, so it doesn't hurt to have him.
Head coach Larry Fedora says Bernard's presence helped Renner, who threw for more than 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a touchdown pass to Bernard.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. They were going to get people down in there to try to stop the run, and they did that, and it gave us things in the passing game.
Bernard had trouble getting out of the backfield, rushing for 50 yards on 18 carries, but knew the rest of the offense would benefit from the Pirates trying to stop him.
Obviously, if you had the extra guy in the box, we have a lot of receivers out there, and that can make plays, and we definitely capitalize on that. So, I mean, for me, it's not about, did I get my yards, did I get my touchdowns, did I get this or that.
The offense started off slow, again, but senior Sylvester Williams and the defense kept their opponent out of the end zone for the second straight home game.
You always want to defend your home turf, and that's one thing that we take pride in.
It didn't hurt to sack the quarterback 7 times. Junior cornerback Jabari Price even recorded his first sack, ever.
I kind of never had a sack in my life. So that's something I had played D-line in Little League, but I never had a sack there either, so it was just something special for me.
Price wasn't the only one to notch a first in the game. Sophomore wide receiver Sean Tapley caught his first touchdown pass of his UNC career. Renner says it's been a goal of Tapley's since before the season started.
He's been talking since training camp and even in the summer, to get his first career touchdown. So I was really happy for the kid. He works his tail off and couldn't have him to a better kid.
Next week, the Tar Heels hope to start strong against an Idaho Vandals defense that has allowed 103 points in their last 2 games. In Chapel Hill, I'm Mike Rodriguez, Sports Extra.
The Vandals are 0-4 on the season and are coming off a 40-37 loss to Wyoming in overtime.
The Heels used two third-quarter touchdowns to put the Pirates away Saturday, but it was a defensive play between those 2 touchdowns that was the key to the Carolina victory. After Sean Tapley's touchdown, the Pirates took over at the 17-yard line. QB Shane Carden dropped back to pass, but he felt pressure, so he scrambled out of the pocket. He scrambled around and right into Kevin Reddick. Reddick's big hit forced the fumble, and defensive end Kareem Martin fell on top of it. And here's that big hit again in slow motion. Bam! Kevin Reddick hits him right there and pops the ball loose. Again, Kareem Martin fell on the ball, giving the Tar Heels possession on the ECU's 15-yard line. 3 plays later, Giovanni Bernard was in the end zone for his second touchdown in the game, which put this game out of reach. And that fumble recovery was the only turnover the Heels forced Saturday. The past 2 years, the Heels have forced ECU into 7 turnovers.
But Carolina made it count by scoring a touchdown right after the turnover. Turnovers are always demoralizing to a team, but when you can make them really pay off by putting points on the board, you make it tough for them to recover. After that turnover and touchdown, ECU couldn't recover, and the Heels grabbed the 27-6 victory.
And it's pretty clear who the outstanding performer was this past weekend against the Pirates and who deserves this week's offensive game ball. Junior quarterback Bren Renner wins it for the 2nd straight week. He passed for more than 300 yards, many of them coming on this touchdown pass to Sean Tapley. You saw it earlier. Look at him break a tackle and take it all the way to the end zone for 6. Renner also had another touchdown pass to Giovanni Bernard. And Renner makes the little dump-off pass right there. It's coming up in a few seconds. Then Bernard does the rest, breaking a tackle and taking it all the way into the end zone for 6. The signal caller finished the game 27 for 43, a 63% completion percentage with 2 TDs. He passed for 321 yards, and again, 62 of those came on that touchdown pass to Tapley. And then since the start of the second half in Louisville, Renner's been unstoppable. He's completing 66% of his passes, and he's thrown for more than 500 yards. He's also thrown for 6 touchdown passes. And it seems he's finally starting to feel comfortable in this offense, guys.
It shows in his production over the last 6 quarters. My favorite stat from the last game and a half wasn't even on the screen. It's his 0 turnovers. As long as UNC holds on to the ball, the Heels should be in good shape going forward.
I agree. Limiting turnovers is key for any team, and it will be key this weekend because forcing turnovers will be Idaho's only hope. But we'll preview that game and make predictions later.
Although there were several candidates, junior cornerback Jabari Price earned this week's defensive game ball for his performances against the Pirates Saturday. Price had one of the most difficult assignments Saturday against the Pirates. He was often left alone to guard ECU's Justin Jones. You can see why it was a bit of a mismatch here. Jones is 6 feet, 8 inches tall. Price, he's just 6 feet. The junior wideout had just 4 receptions for 46 yards Saturday, but Price did more than just stop Jones. Price had the second most tackles on the team with 8. He also had 1 sack and 1 pass defended.
And Price's sack was just 1 of 7 for the Heels. He and the secondary also kept ECU to only 124 passing yards, the fewest allowed in a win since 2009 against Boston College. It certainly seems the defense is starting to gel. They should have an opportunity to have another stellar game this weekend against Idaho, but again, we'll have more on that later.
They might not do the prettiest work, but it's necessary. The offensive line. Here's this week's offensive lineman of the game. Senior guard Jonathan Cooper earned the highest grade of all the other offensive linemen in Saturday's game against ECU. His coaches graded him at 86%. Cooper had 12 pancake blocks in the game.
And the Pirates came to Kenan Stadium knowing they would be challenged by a tough offense with Giovanni Bernard back on the field. But ECU couldn't predict that Carolina's defensive line would dish out one of its best performances in 12 years. Carolina's 7 sacks were the most by the Heels in a single game since 2000, when they had 10 at Wake Forest. The 7 sacks were also 1 more than Carolina has had in its first 3 games combined. Yep, the Heels had just 6 sacks total against Elon, Wake, and Louisville.
And all they do is win, well, at least at home. After the break, we'll talk about women's volleyball and their busy weekend.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't, because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's 1 every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
The volleyball team was busy this past weekend, beginning conference play against Wake Forest and Duke. Sefe Amakpai joins us live in the studio to tell us how they did.
Thank you, Pat. The Heels had a great weekend. They defeated Wake Forest on Friday and finished up a winning weekend against Duke on Sunday. Here's a look at the action. The Tar Heels took on the Demon Deacons Friday in a 3-0 shutout in Carmichael Arena. Things started off rocky for the Heels in the first set. Wake Forest led most of it, but when the Heels were down by 5, they scored 7 straight points to pass the Demon Deacons 22-20. The team finished out the set 25-22. Here's what Coach Joe Segula had to say in order to get his team ready to take the next 2 sets.
We told our team just they're not doing anything
Sorry,
different.
apparently there's some technical difficulties, but basically that's what happened. The Heels won both Duke and Wake Forest games and beat the Demon Deacons and the other blue as best as they could. Pat?
Wow, Sefe, you said that's the first time in 5 meetings the Heels beat Duke?
Yes, it's been somewhat of a struggle for the team to pull out a W against their rivals. As I said, the last 5 times the Blues battled, the Heels have come out on the losing side, but this time it took them 5 sets. But they got the job done. Coach Joe Segula expressed excitement about the win and how it will help them in the future. He was really excited about where his team's going to go.
Speaking of the future, how do you think the team will do for the remainder of the season?
From what I saw this weekend, Pat, I'm confident the Heels will continue to dominate. They have a 6-0 record here at home, and with players like Chanel Nelson, Tia Gaffin, Cora Harms, Ejay Sanaa, and Emily McGee, there's no reason that streak shouldn't continue.
Thanks for the update. That was Sefe Amakpai live in the studio.
On Thursday, the Virginia Tech women's soccer team came to Chapel Hill undefeated, but after 90 minutes of play on Fetzer Field, they wouldn't leave that way. Carolina claimed a 3-1 victory over the 6th-ranked Hokies after a trio of goals in the first half. Maria Lobradno finished the first goal off a corner kick and flicked by Amber Brooks in the 8th minute. Minutes later, Brooks converted a penalty kick to put the Tar Heels ahead 2-0. Alyssa Rich found the net in the 35th minute after a shot rebounded off the crossbar. Ashley Mayer pulled one back for the Hokies before halftime, but that wasn't enough. Virginia Tech outshot the Heels 15-12, but it was Carolina who made their chances count. Coach Anson Dorrance said the win was a momentum builder for his team.
Honestly, I don't think there was any sort of master plan or grand strategy. We are trying to score on corner kicks. I know it's hard to believe, based on the fact that's our first corner kick goal this year. But we are working on it a bit, and so that felt good to score one off a corner. We have the potential to score goals off the run of play. We've got a lot of quality players that strike the ball with power. So hopefully, as the season continues to wear on, we'll start to score in all kinds of ways. But it was nice to score off a corner kick. We were clubbed in the box a couple times, so I think we warranted the penalty kick. And in fact, there was another one earlier that we felt should have been called. But still, to give Virginia Tech credit, they were outstanding. We never felt safe in the game. And they are just an incredibly difficult team to play against. So I congratulate Chugger and his kids. They're an outstanding member of the conference, and we're proud to beat them while they were ranked in the top 10.
And among the players on the field for Carolina against the Hokies were 3 recent world champions.
Kalia Ohai scored the winning goal for Team USA against Germany in the Under-20 World Cup final earlier this month. It wouldn't have happened without the help of her fellow Tar Heel and U.S. teammate Crystal Dunn, who saw her open and fed her with the pass.
Goalkeeper and #1 recruit of the Tar Heels 2012 class, Breanne Haberlin, put forth a spectacular performance for the U.S. and didn't allow a single goal, protecting the 1-goal lead that ultimately led them to victory.
Going one way. We met so many new amazing people. We played Germany, China, Nigeria.
We were having some technical difficulties again, but that was Kalia Ohai talking about her experience over in Tokyo with the U20 World Team. And all 3 of those players hope to one day represent the U.S. in the Women's World Cup or the Olympics.
And the men's soccer team took on Virginia last Friday in a very engaging match. Sports Extra was there for you.
It was a tough and physical game Friday night at Fetzer Field. With 41 fouls, the ref was busy all night.
Every ACC game we expect to be at that level.
Head coach Carlos Somoyano says that was partially his own fault.
Both teams got yellow cards after he missed calls, so, there were a lot of missed calls, and then those are the funny ones because, as soon as you miss 2 or 3 in a row, another harder one's coming, and then he tries to solve it with a yellow card.
Both teams managed to shoot 4 times in the first half, but neither team could find the net. UNC and Virginia went to the locker rooms tied at 0. During halftime, about 30 former UNC soccer players took a picture on the field on which they used to play. About 2 minutes into the second half, UNC opened the score on Andy Craven's third goal of the season. Danny Garcia sent the ball to Virginia's defense and found Craven. Craven was one-on-one with the Cavalier keeper.
I saw the keeper was spread out, taking all the angles, so I just went right down underneath his legs, and it worked out.
The goal gave the Tar Heels their 5th win of the season, and now they're ranked number 8th in the nation. But Samayana doesn't think his team played well.
We got to get better, so that's the bottom line. I actually thought last week against Wake we did okay. I thought we played better than we played tonight, but we got a tie out of it. So, sometimes you play well and you get no result. Sometimes you don't play as well and you get the result.
What's most important at this stage of the season?
Both are really important, but I think at this point it's important to get results because, ACC is the toughest competition. You can't just drop any game.
Goalkeeper Scott Goodwin set a record for the most shutouts in Carolina history.
Scott is an outstanding student athlete in every aspect. He means a lot more to this program than shutout records, so it's hard for me to sum that
Sports
all up.
Extra, I'm Kiera Palmer.
Out to Fetzer Field Tuesday at 7 p.m. to cheer on the men's soccer team as they take on Wofford at home.
And we now know more about the mysterious death of former Tar Heel soccer captain Kirk Urso, who died last month. According to a report released over the weekend by the coroner's office in Franklin County, Ohio, Urso died of a rare genetic heart defect, one that he didn't know he had. Urso, a member of the Columbus Crew, died August 5th after losing consciousness at a bar. He played for the Heels from 2008 to 2011, leading them to the national championship last season.
The number 1 ranked women's field hockey team took on Stanford Sunday afternoon, trying to improve the 9-1 on the season. Kelsey Kolajajek spins around the defender to break free into open space and nails the ball in the back of the net. Kolajajek's second goal of the game.
Carolina scores in the 17th minute of play.
We wanted to focus on, two-touch passing, work on using our speed to the best of our abilities, and when we got the opportunity in the circle, put it in. So we knew that they would come out strong, but we handled it really well. So.
Another big play when Charlotte Craddock inbounds the ball to Rachel Magerman, who is immediately met by pressure from the defense. She escapes and passes the ball to Katie Ardrey, who sends a perfect shot up and over the Stanford goalkeeper. She manages to tip the ball, but it wasn't enough to stop it. And Ardrey celebrates scoring her first goal of the season. And with a quick steal by Carolina, the ball is fed to Lauren Sheely, who executes a beautiful two-touch pass to Ardrey. She charges up the field with the ball and sends in another great shot from the left that Sheely is able to tip in, making it look effortless and bringing the Tar Heels to a 5-1 lead.
Carolina's 5th goal comes at the 30th minute of play.
The Tar Heels let a second goal slip through when Stanford took advantage of their penalty corner.
Stanford scores their second goal.
Carolina goalkeeper Sassia Mayer looks a bit upset that she let that one get by. And on another penalty corner, Ardrey finds Kolajajek, who controls the ball, allowing Craddock to rocket the ball into the back of the cage. Carolina celebrates their 6th goal of the game.
Carolina's 6th goal, first of the second half.
The 2 goals scored today by Kolajajek moved her into 5th on UNC's career goals list. Head coach Karen Shelton believes Kolajajek is a true asset to the team.
Kelsey Kolajajek has the gift of fury. And, she is just relentless when she wants to play. Occasionally she stops playing, but when she wants to play, it is hard to stop her. So, they can try, but she can change a game.
Next up for the Heels is a road game at Davidson tomorrow at 5 p.m., and then they return home for an ACC matchup versus Wake Forest Saturday at noon.
And 3 UNC students are finding a new way to kick it around Carolina. We'll meet them after the break.
We don't win unless we work together. It's how we play our best. It's how we survive on the field.
Now that same teamwork can save 13 million people
affected by the famine, war, and drought in the Horn of Africa.
Go to this site
and forward the facts to everyone you know. The more people who know,
the more money we can raise.
And the more money we raise,
the more people we can help.
Because saving lives doesn't take a lot.
It just takes a lot of us.
buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
My dad's one of the producers here
Bring this week.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
And welcome back to Sports Extra. You think you were busy this summer? Imagine traveling across the state promoting religious tolerance and working on your dribbling skills too. As Natalia Perez explains, that's exactly how three best friends spent the break.
Sophomores Sasha Seymour, Dylan Simel, and Ahmad Saad are best friends. Seymour and Simel grew up together, but they met Saad on the soccer field. The three friends wanted to promote religious tolerance and diversity this past summer, and they wanted to use their favorite sport to do so.
You know, we always talked about how if you have Muslims, Christians, and Jews all on the soccer field together, a Muslim isn't thinking, you know, I'm passing to a Jew or I'm passing to a Christian. He's thinking, that's my teammate, so I have to pass to them. So religion kind of falls to the wayside. So that was something we were really hoping to focus on, just the fact that you can put aside whether it's religious differences or racial differences or ethnic differences or whatever it is, and just focus on playing the game.
So they created the nonprofit Kicking Across Carolina. Rain or shine, they dribbled soccer balls across the entire state, on roads, on sidewalks, even across mountains.
A lot of times we were like in the ditch right beside a road.
Or on the road.
Or on the road.
A little bit to the side.
A little bit to the side. My mom made us wear these like bright orange
fluorescent
green, yellowish. Yeah. So we were safe.
At first, the run was going to stretch across the entire nation. But soon the three realized that the state of North Carolina was the perfect length.
Originally, the idea that I came up with was to dribble a soccer ball across America. Ahmad looked at me and goes, calm down, Forrest Gump. Let's think about this for a second, because that is a long way. And then we collectively said, how about North Carolina? And at first we were like, and then the more we thought about it, the more it became an idea that actually could be done.
From May 5th to May 27th, the three dribbled soccer balls from Asheville to Morehead City. That's more than 450 miles, and averages to be more than 20 miles per day.
Through 450 miles, the balls became to look like these.
When the trio finally finished dribbling for the day, the real work began.
Because when we were dribbling, all we were focused on was dribbling. Moving our feet, step by step, kick by kick, dribbling. But then after we're done dribbling for the day, after we've gone about 25 miles, whatever it may be, that's when we made our videos, that's when we made our blog posts, that's when we email, that's when we networked, that's when we set up interviews, that's when we did everything that we needed to do to make ourselves run.
With hard work and dedication, the three achieved their goal. Who knows? Maybe Kicking Across Carolina will be kicking across America soon enough. In Chapel Hill, I'm Natalia Perez, Sports Extra.
And if you want to relive the full journey with Sasha, Ahmad, and Dylan, head out to kickingacrosscarolina.com.
And it's a busy week for Tar Heel sports fans with many facing tough ACC competition. Here's a complete schedule for this upcoming week in Carolina sports. Tuesday, the field hockey team travels to Davidson to take on the Wildcats at 5 p.m. and the men's soccer team hosts Wofford at 7. The volleyball team plays Clemson at 6 p.m. in Carmichael. That match is televised on ESPNU. Thursday, the women's soccer team takes on the Florida State Seminoles at 7. If you can't make it to Fetzer, you can watch the game online on ESPN3. Both the men's and women's cross-country teams race in South Bend at the Notre Dame Invitation Friday morning. The men's soccer team plays later that evening. It takes on Duke in Durham at 7. And before the football game on Saturday, the field hockey team takes on Wake Forest at noon. Football plays at 3:30 on Raycom Sports. And finally, on Sunday, the volleyball team, women's soccer team, and the field hockey team will play at 1 in Chapel Hill.
Coming up after in 2 minutes, we'll break down this coming weekend's football matchup versus Idaho. Can Bryn Renner and the Tar Heels passing game vandalize the Vandals? Stay with us.
Now the big guy comes off the bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. The first pitch is fouled between Jackson.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Millions of people are affected by disaster in America. And we're right there, providing food. With more than 200 food banks, reaching communities all across America. Donate now for immediate relief and long-term recovery. Every dollar helps provide food for disaster victims. Help now at feedingamerica.org.
Get ready.
We'll get to our predictions of the Idaho game in just a minute.
But first, we want to tell you what you should expect from your Heels Saturday. Bryn Renner looks to continue his hot streak Saturday against Idaho. The Vandals ranked 106 out of 120 teams in the country in passing defense, giving up more than 280 yards in the air. Carolina's three-headed rushing attack, Morris, Blue, and Bernard, should also have a better game than it had against ECU. However, the Heels get into the end zone, the fans should be prepared to do a lot of push-ups. Idaho gives up 36 points per game. Sylvester Williams and the defense shouldn't have to worry about stopping the run. The Vandals have the third worst rushing attack in the country.
And now it's finally time for us to make our predictions for this weekend's football game. I'll start us off. Look, the Vandals haven't even won a game this season. Did you even know Idaho had a football team? I thought they were just green potatoes out there. We'll win big, 31-3. I'll give them a field goal to be nice.
And that's very nice of you, Jen. As long as we can limit the turnovers like we have the past 6 quarters, I think we'll get an easy Carolina victory. It's been a tale of 2 halves for the Heels this season, and we've been strong in the second. I expect us, though, to get a quick start and never look back. I have the Heels winning 31-10.
And it seems we all agree that it should be a big victory for the Heels this weekend. Idaho should come to Chapel Hill hoping not to get embarrassed. The Heels haven't given up a touchdown in Keenan yet, and I don't expect them to Saturday against the Vandals. I think we'll win 34-6. And finally, we'll wrap up this week's edition of Sports Extra like we will every week, with the extra point. Here's this week's. Larry Fedora must be saying something to his players at halftime. Carolina used 2 touchdowns in the third quarter against ECU to pull away from the Pirates, like we mentioned earlier, and that's nothing new for the Tar Heels, coming out firing at the start of the second half. The Heels are outscoring opponents 52-0 in the third quarter. That's right, 52 third quarter points in 4 games for the good guys, and none for their opponents.
That does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
Thanks for watching. We're looking forward to football again next week, aren't we?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. And we hope to see you guys again next week.
I mean, I definitely think that there's no chance that Idaho has at this game.
You never know. They might find a way.
I think, though, like you mentioned, Pat, I think we got to get off to a great start. We've been coming out lax and getting into the second half really well. Why don't we I think we should tell Bryn and the boys that it is already the second half when they get into the locker room before the game.
Think we'll have a chance to vandalize them?
Yeah, I think we'll be able to
an original
vandalize
joke,
them.
I know, trust me.